Hey everyone, I'm Diana. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be talking about sea creatures and the things that are under the sea and maybe above the sea. In the summertime, I thought it would be really fun to have an ocean theme pattern collection that I'm going to share with you today. So half of the patterns are free and half of the patterns are paid patterns. And what I want to do with this video is to share these patterns with you, but also talk about the difficulty of the patterns, if I liked the pattern, if I didn't like the pattern, anything that I suggested or I altered, because I tend to do that with patterns. But I also want to be really honest when I share patterns on my YouTube channel. So what I'm going to do is I am going to share the patterns that are paid pattern first, and then I am going to be sharing the patterns that are the free patterns. And I have a bonus little item, so stay tuned for that. So let's get started with pattern number 1. So this is a no-sew whale by All from Jade. What makes this pattern super fun is when I looked at it, I thought, oh, this pattern is really fun, that it's a whale and you can either crochet this where it looks like it's swimming in the ocean, or you can crochet it where it's like this. So when I picked out this pattern, this is what I thought it was, just this whale right here. But what I didn't realize is that this is a mama whale and that there are baby whales included in the pattern. Very fun interactive toy. So there's 2 little whales that can fit up in there really well. Now I do have to say this part of it was super simple, like the no-sew part of it, but the tail for me was a little bit tricky. What in my brain I wanted to do and what actually happened wasn't the same thing, but guess what? It's totally fine. Another cool thing about this pattern is that it also has instructions on how to make a killer whale and also a narwhal and a baby narwhal, and really like this pattern. I recommend it. I've been looking at it for a really long time. Thought the rainbow would be super cute to do. Anyway, I was sold with that. This pattern is a paid pattern, and I will link all of the patterns that I'm going to be talking about in the description of this video below. So this pattern, because it is so large, it took me quite a while to create the whole whale. And this is the very first time that I've used these fun moon eyes, is what these are called. Absolutely cool. So this yarn that I used is the loops and thread that is made by Michaels. If you are enjoying the content of this video, please consider liking and subscribing. This helps my channel not only to grow, but it also helps other makers just like you, other crocheters, to find them because you have liked and you have subscribed. And I really appreciate all the comments and the interactions that I've gotten on my videos. So thank you so much. If you are new here, you're a new friend. And if you're coming back, hello friend. Pattern number 2 that I'm going to share is Larry the Lobster. Look at this dude. He is so cool. He's got these really fun claws. But I think the thing that really has me is, look, it articulates. What is that? That is so cool. Okay, another pattern from All from Jade. She is absolutely amazing. So what I would say about this pattern is I used chenille yarn, and this is actually easier than maybe it looks, but I would still say that this is an intermediate pattern. For me, it was a little tricky for me to get the claws right because I had to figure out how to make them where the claws, the little parts, the little pincers were going towards the middle. All the instructions and all of the pictures were super helpful. I was able to crochet this and get this done in a fairly quick time. Yarn that I used for this was Premier pattern. I just love everything about this. I love that it has this articulating tail. She also has a shrimp in her pattern collection that has articulation in it. For pattern 3, this is Willow the Whale. How cute is this? This is an oak and marlow. This one I chose to use the Bernat blanket yarn. For the most part, this was a low sew. This again was a little bit trickier for me, so this is an intermediate advanced. I think the tricky part for me was this underbelly. I don't know why, but it was getting it to go right and even on the bottom. So I highly recommend that you have pins to help you with that. I love it. This next pattern is stunning, and it takes a little bit of time, but I think it's worth the time. Look how cute. That's a little baby mermaid. Look at the intricate hair on this one. This one for sure took quite a while. Love all the detail on it. And again, I used chenille yarn by Premier. This pattern, the hair, I think it was probably the trickiest part. Pattern is by Green Frog Crochet, a little Tinkerbell that is included in the set for this mermaid. This one, I would say it's an intermediate to advanced because there's so much detail into this. Her instructions are fantastic and detailed. For this hair, instead of sewing it down, I decided to, so I glued the hair down and I used this Fabri-Tac. You can get the Fabri-Tac at Walmart or you can order it online from Amazon. You can wash it. A little bit goes a long way. When I put the hair down, I used pins and I arranged the hair first, and then I went under each piece and then I glued it down and then I just let it sit overnight and then I pulled all the pins out. Really saves you a lot of time from having to sew and use up a lot of your material, and I just like the way it looks better. That's just my personal opinion. Pattern number 5 is by Theresa's Crochet Shop. Super fun. It's this Hammerhead shark. Isn't he so cool? The detail on this is amazing. And I do have to say that Theresa's Crochet Shop, she is super generous and she is super kind. I followed her from the beginning of me crocheting. She's amazing. I do have another pattern that I'm going to talk about of hers later in this video, so stay tuned for that because it's a free one. With this pattern, again, I would say it's an intermediate to advanced. She has a very detailed picture instruction. I think I would stuff it a little bit more firm, but he's still pretty cool. Like the body is more like I would like it, but this, I think I could have put a little bit more. In the instructions, it says don't stuff it too much. So I didn't stuff it too much, but for my liking, I think I would stuff it a little bit more. This has a little mouth. And she does have a video on how to sew those things together. Sew the head, sew the body, and sew the little pieces and attach those. And then this white piece attaches to the body. So that's what makes it more of an intermediate to advanced pattern. The eyes, I went ahead and went with smaller eyes because I didn't have larger eyes, and I think they wanted 18 and all I had was 16, and I think it still looks pretty good. So I was looking for a seal and I found this guy. Isn't he adorable? And the detail doesn't show up as well on camera as it does in person, but he is a no-sew. So this is a very quick pattern. This is by Keen Maker, and he is just so cute. I couldn't get my magic ring to work in my white. I used Premier Parfait Chunky for this yarn, and I couldn't get my magic ring to work. Sometimes it's like that for me when I'm crocheting. So if that happens to you, it's okay. I tried all different ways of getting it to work. So what I ended up doing, I did the chain 2, and then I did the magic ring into the second chain, created the tail, and I just left a long string to crochet the bottom. And when I got up to a certain point, what I did is I attached the tail through there. I sewed it in. So this guy, I really love how he turned out. Super easy pattern. Okay, pattern number 7 is also by Keen Maker, and it's this adorable starfish. This is a paid pattern. There's a little bit of detail, and I was trying to make everything different colors because I have a tendency to make everything in the same color. I just like how, look, it actually looks like a starfish. So cool. I love how he turned out. Just came together pretty quickly. More of an advanced beginner on this because of the arms of the starfish. If you've been crocheting for a little bit and you still consider yourself a beginner, I think you would be okay with this pattern because it does come together quickly. Now we're into our free patterns. Pattern number 8 First of our free patterns that I'm going to be talking about today. This pattern is by Looped by Love AU, which I think stands for Australia. Looked up their profile, so this is a free one that I got off of Instagram. Now this fish, I decided to make it out of Bernat blanket yarn. I like how he just came together, and I don't know if you can see glitter eyes. So this pattern has the option of changing colors. I really like how this came together. It was super quick, probably less than half an hour. If you are a beginning crocheter, this one is a little bit, just a tiny bit more advanced. Love how he came together, Finley the fish, and I'm looking forward to making more fishes. I think the one thing that I may be doing next time, see how his fin's not exactly in the middle, but it's okay. And the fins on the side are not necessarily even, and the eyes are crazy. But you know what? If you're making it, no one's gonna look at maybe as closely as you do. So I'm okay with that. And guess what? It's handmade and it's made with love. So that's okay. So if you ever find yourself getting crazy with the perfectionist stuff, just put it down, walk away. Give yourself a breath. So this is Finley the fish. Pattern number 9 is by Knots by Fee, and her name is Fiona, so that's just like Fiona back there. This is a free pattern that I got off of Instagram, and look at the detail on it. This one came together super quick, and I love how just all the dimension and everything, and it was all done in one go. So this is a no-sew, very easy. So you start from the top and then you work it down, but it just, I love it. It's easy. Olly Octopus is so fun. Just look at the legs, so fun. Well, you can't have Under the Sea without this pattern, which is pattern number 10, and it's a seahorse. Look how cute the seahorse is. This pattern is off the internet and is by One Dog Woof. What's so cool about this is that I was able to use a pipe cleaner for the tail. Isn't that so fun? The pattern used acrylic yarn, and I decided to use chenille yarn, so I doubled up the pipe cleaner to make it so it would articulate even more. But look how cute this turned out. Another quick make, and this would be fun for markets. I really think this one would be a good one. A lot of these things, they're so quick that they would make really fun and something different for markets. I told you I was going to share another pattern by Theresa's Crochet Shop. This pattern is called Cecil the Clam. Another quick make. It's interactive, where here's the pearl, and you can put the pearl in there. And it has a little face. Loved on while my grandkids were here. They really liked. So my grandson thought, "You made this for me?" He kept asking if I made everything for him. He, do not feel bad, has so many amigurumis that I've made him. I didn't give it to him because he has enough for now. Very easy. I used Premier Parfait Chunky for this one. And I love how you make the two pieces and then you sew them together. You make 2 of the inside, 2 of the outside, then you sew those together, and then you make the balls. And if you, I suppose if you wanted to, you could sew it into the bottom of your clam. My brothers were like, "Oh, you better sew those together or provide somebody with more pearls on the inside or they'll lose them." And I'm like, well, I don't want to do that because I think it's fun to have. So there we go. Pattern number 12 is this cute jellyfish. I added a little bit more to this jellyfish. I added the straight pieces to make it just a little bit different. And what I wanted to do was make them a little bit longer than the sewn pieces, but it didn't end up like that. And that's okay because it's homemade. And I'm going to be okay with it. Did use chenille yarn. The yarn that I used for this one is by Himalayan Dolphin Yarns. It's the baby Himalayan Dolphin yarn. Them off of Amazon for a very reasonable price. Pattern off of Instagram. It's more of a more advanced beginner. But again, because it's a rounded shape, you start there and you work on the edges and then you sew the tentacles on. Pattern number 13, I absolutely fell in love with. This is Murphy the Manatee. And I love how he's just got this bulbous shape. This color is mushroom. And this is by Premier. It was a very quick make. perfect for markets. This is an Instagram pattern. This Murphy the Manatee, Buzzy Honey Crafts made this pattern. Pattern number 14 is this cute turtle pattern. This turtle is absolutely adorable. Yes, there are a ton of turtle patterns that are free, and I just chose this one. This one is by Crochet. This one, it gives you some dimension to the head, so it's more like a turtle head, like a live turtle head. And another creative thing that I liked is that the shell is a little bit longer, so it like acts like it's gonna cover. This is a more advanced beginner pattern, but I think it came together really cute. Again, a combination of Himalayan baby dolphin yarn, which is a chenille yarn, and also I used on the bottom, I used that mushroom color again, which is by Premier, and I love how this one came together. Again, there are several pieces, so it makes it a little bit more advanced. It's a little fiddly, but I think that if you're a beginner, you could do that one, this one just fine. Manta rays. Look how adorable this little manta ray is. It's by Ma Crochet. Very simple, very quick. You sew the top, you put the eyes in, you sew the bottom, you stitch it together, and then you add a tail, and there you go. Super, super quick make. I think maybe 20 minutes or less. I decided to make it pink because why not? Again, with chenille yarn. And this is a color that I got from Premier. What more can I say? This is a super cute pattern. I loved it. This is the last of the free patterns. So pattern number 16 is this cute little no-sew crab. Maybe 15 minutes. Super quick make, beginner friendly, another Instagram fun make. So the yarn that I used was Premier. I think the trickiest part was just getting the little claws and the little legs on there, but really it's not that hard. When you're by the ocean, there's seagulls. So I thought I'd make this fun little seagull. And this one, I'm trying to make it more beginner friendly. So that's the part that I'm working on, is figuring out how I can make this more of a low sew. Figuring out the legs. I think his legs just crack me up. So I don't have a name. If you have any suggestions for a seagull name, I would really appreciate it. What did you think of my patterns today? Let me know in the comments. If you want to see more themed pattern roundups, now remember, I always try and test out the patterns so that I can let you know my honest opinion, let you know if it's worth the purchase, let you know if it is a real pattern. Because that's why I am sharing these pattern roundups. I've been working on this one for a good long while. These are a lot of patterns that I shared with you today. Hope you have fun crocheting. Tag me on anything that you're making. I have an Instagram account. If we aren't friends yet, please consider following me. I am Scrappy Warrior Woman on Instagram, and I share what I'm making. I share other things in my life. Like today I was making sourdough bread and I baked it and it turned out fantastic. I'm trying to master that. I would really like to see anything that you're making. Tag me in the post. I can come and cheer you on. Happy crocheting. Okay. I think you would be fine, okay? I think you would be fine, okay? If you're a beginning stitcher, so I use the loops and